Midwestern Movie Reviewer here with another movie review. I recently saw Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters. This movie is rated R and it's about 2 hours and 2 minutes long. 2 hours and 2 minutes? 2 hours and 7 minutes. Anyways, were you excited to see this movie? As excited as I was when you saw this trailer? I bet you were, because this is one of the big summer blockbusters that we've been looking for, and it finally is out. This movie, I'll tell you a little bit about the premise. You probably already know from the trailer, and I don't do any spoilers. Basically, what's in the trailer, what my take was on it. So I happened to see this movie in 4DX. And so cute. Look at that poster. Do you need to see this in 4DX? I will tell you. It was not only in 4DX, it was in 3D. So what is that? 7D? Do we need 7D? No, we don't. For this particular film, we don't even need 3D or 4D. It has the excellent visuals, the excellent sound, the great action sequences, but it did not have a situation where you needed 4DX for this particular one. And I love 4DX, so if it needed it, I would tell you about it. Basically, the premise of this movie, and you see this in the trailer, is Ryan Reynolds' character Deadpool. He is in a timeline that is being affected by Time Variant Association, or whatever that group is, from Loki and some of these other TV shows, and just in the MCU in general. And so he's got to save his timeline from destruction. From what? I don't think you ever know, but it's going to be destroyed. So he has to find a Wolverine to help him save his timeline. That's the basic premise of this movie.
Our stories are supposed to be over. This whole mess, all of it is your fault, Wade.
Come on, Logan. Everyone deserves a second chance. Or a few of them, at least. And this is what ours looks like.
Wade. You are special. Don't let this opportunity slip away.
We're gonna do whatever the hell we want. Paradox.
Wait!
You have, it stars Ryan Reynolds, it stars Hugh Jackman. There's a new villain. Her name is, the actress's name, let's see. I wasn't familiar with her. Her name is Emma Corrin. And she does a great job. I couldn't stand this woman. She kind of had an egg-shaped bald head, and it was frightening. You'll find out more who she is, what her background is, but you can see in the preview that she takes Hugh Jackman and manipulates him. So she's got some special powers that are extremely powerful. She was frightening. Great criminal, great evil villain. Loved her. It also starred an actor, Matthew McFadyen. I'm going to say McFadyen. I've seen him in a lot of stuff, but I was not familiar with his work, and he does a great job in this movie. He's a little cringy. He's not very funny. Although this movie is hilarious, this particular guy wasn't, and it was meant that way. He was kind of a douchebag. So, but you're gonna love. It's already been said that there's a lot of cameos and actors and different people and characters and everything in this. You're gonna love that. Please, I was going to say this before I got too far along in my review. If you are not familiar with my reviews, but you like movie reviews, please like and subscribe. That way you can be notified when my new movie reviews come out. Also, please stay to the end of the video. I normally have one special nugget to share at the very end. This time I have 2 to 3. So these are things that maybe other reviewers aren't telling you about. They're not spoilers, but they're just something that enhances your knowledge and thought of the movie and its process. Stay tuned for that. Back to this movie review. The things that I liked and did not like. What I liked. I enjoyed it in 4DX. You don't need to see it in 4DX. It does enhance it a little bit when you're bouncing around in the fights. But there were so many areas when you weren't feeling or noticing anything that I feel like it was kind of wasted on this film. When I was in Twister, there was constant wind, constant rain. You're getting splashed by things. You're getting thrown everywhere. It was such an immersive experience that without it, you felt a little bit. I saw it twice. You felt that it was missing, that you wanted to get splashed in the face and you wanted that wind. So with this one, it's not necessary. 3D. Do you need 3D for this? I felt like 3D made it more crisp, made some of the scenes really more enjoyable. At first, when they brought out the 3D, you saw they had previews that some were in 3D and some weren't. But you couldn't tell. You're trying to get adjusted to these glasses. They should have arranged it where maybe at first, those first previews were not in 3D, and then maybe the last ones were. So you had your glasses on, you're getting accustomed to them, and then bam, Wolverine and Deadpool and Wolverine in 3D. You're adjusted. No, it was on and off. So you're like, oh, is this what the movie's going to be like? Is it going to be kind of crappy? Is this bad? Is something wrong with my glasses? It was really unnerving. So if you didn't have that experience at the beginning, the glasses do enhance the experience a little bit. Not necessary though. The great thing about this film is the humor. You laugh out loud so many times with the audience. We were really bonding over some of the crazy, raunchy humor, and just it was really, really funny. I thought it was being improv in a lot of places because Ryan Reynolds is so fast with his quips and different little phrases he's saying. And you know how he breaks the third wall constantly, or the fourth wall, whichever wall that is. You have to really be paying attention to get every joke, and it was so funny. I want to go back again just to catch some of the things I know I missed. So the jokes were hilarious. He is not improvising. Apparently, there was something with the Writers Screen Actors Guild that because they were on strike, you couldn't improv in your movies or something. So he wasn't able to improv. That's what I read. Let me know if that's not correct. That was in Time magazine, so we'll see. Another thing that I loved about this movie was the fight sequences. That's when you really could feel the 4D in the movie theater, was when they were having these action sequences. They were amazing. They were long. They were just crazy. So kudos to his stunt people, because him and Hugh Jackman, he's got the face mask on, so he probably uses his stuntmen maybe a little more than Hugh Jackman does. I don't know. But the fight sequences were amazing. Just the video, the visuals, and the audio in this movie were fantastic. So you're going to love that. Also, the soundtrack. The soundtrack is really, really good. I mean, you have, of course, you hear Madonna in the trailer, so you have that song. But there's some good music in the movie. I enjoyed that soundtrack. Okay, this movie, they're talking about how this was one of the very first really hard R movies with just tons of bad language for a Disney film and the MCU. So just be aware of that. Although it is a superhero movie, it's not for children. This is a hard R with this one. There's a lot of vulgar talk, a lot of violence and gore and blood. So I did see some children in the theater when I went. And of course, parents, you're the final judge on whether or not you're going to bring your children to something like this. But you should be aware before you go in there that this has those things in it, so you can make that judgment knowing your child. Okay, now we're at the nuggets. Now we're to the part where you get to find out what was going on behind the scenes. Okay, so you see that Hugh Jackman's character, Wolverine, in this movie, he wears a yellow outfit. Well, back in 2000 in the original X-Men movie, he's in that, and him and Cyclops have a back and forth discussion. And he makes some quip about, are you going out in that? Talking about their matching outfits. And Cyclops says, well, what do you want? Some yellow spandex? And then here you go, 2024. Here comes Wolverine out in a yellow, somewhat spandexy outfit. So kicking back to that original comment 24 years ago. And then number 2, You know, in Deadpool, there was that funny character Weasel, played by T.J. Miller. Well, why isn't he in this when all of supposedly Deadpool's family and friends are in this? Well, him and the actor Ryan Reynolds had a falling out, and they don't want to work with each other anymore. So I feel like TJ Miller's missing out because he's not getting to cash in on this cash cow. So, oh well, TJ Miller, whatever you're doing now cannot be as awesome as this movie. Okay, the third thing, I wanted to find out, where do they get this story for Deadpool and Wolverine to go around together in somewhat of a buddy action comedy? Um, this is not following any kind of storyline from comics besides just their characters. Ryan Reynolds and some other guys wrote this story, came up with it, and even though Wolverine had died at the end of Logan, they figured out a way to bring him back, and he was willing to come back and reprise his role. So we're all glad he did because this movie was fantastic. So there you go, my 3 nuggets. And I hope that you go see this movie. I hope that you delve into the background on it. You find out about the other movies that Wolverine's been in. He's been in a lot of them, and you kind of start to understand why he was wanting to hang up his claws. But we're glad he didn't. It was great. It was fantastic. Midwestern Movie Reviewer says go see Deadpool and Wolverine in theaters. And you don't need 4D or 4DX or 3D. Just go. Midwestern Movie Reviewer out.